Chris Lee and Blake Lovell of Southeastern 14, presented by Steaks, here to preview the Music City Bowl in our own backyard. That between Iowa and Kentucky. The over-under on this, I think 31.5. We've got two very defensive-minded football teams that struggled on offense. And on top of that, Blake, we've got all kinds of opt-outs that have created additional uncertainty. On Kentucky's side of the ball, Will Levis, who may be a first-round pick, is going to miss this game. So Kentucky will be starting an inexperienced quarterback. We're not entirely sure who that's going to be, although we have an idea. Chris Rodriguez Jr., Kentucky's fine tailback, who I think will be a starting tailback in the NFL this time next year, also out. So is his backup, Cavoisier Smoke, who has hit the transfer portal. But guess what? Iowa's got a lot of opt-outs too, and injuries and such.
Well, yeah, I think it's more of transfers and injuries more than opt-outs at this point. And I think, yeah, I mean, look, they're going to be starting a new quarterback as well, so that's going to make it. I think that factors into the total, like you said. I think it's 31.5 in this game, and when you consider too that, like we've talked about before, Kentucky, the under hit in 11 of Kentucky's 12 games this season. Under hit in 8 of Iowa's 12 games this season. So two teams that did kind of lean on their defense to do a lot because the points weren't always there, to say the least. So, yeah, for Iowa, same kind of situation where, we don't know what to expect from them offensively because their starting quarterback is injured, and now we'll have someone new starting. And so I think, that just adds to I was going to say intrigue, but I don't know if intrigue is the right word. With this game, I think it's probably more of something else, but I don't want to knock Kentucky and Iowa fans because they will both be out in support of their teams in the Music City. But if you're looking for points, I don't know if this is the game you'll get it from.
Yeah, you may need to cover your ears when you hear some of these offensive numbers. When Iowa's got the ball, the Hawkeyes averaging 17.4 points a game, Kentucky giving up 19.1. The Hawkeyes have lost 10 fumbles and 7 picks. Kentucky has recovered 7 fumbles and picked off 10 passes. Iowa has been sacked 37 times. That is one of the roots of the problems for the Hawkeye offense. Kentucky, though, not really a team that gets after the passer with just 19 sacks. Rushing plays, and sacks count as rushing plays. Iowa runs the ball 31 times a game and throws it 30. And on those plays, my goodness, 3.8 yards per rushing play, 4.5 yards per passing play. I don't know that I've seen a worse number in the country per pass play than what I was putting up. Kentucky averaging 4.9 yards against in rushing plays. You can run on the Cats a bit. That secondary has been pretty stingy, giving up 5.7 yards per pass play. I don't know what else to say. Iowa probably had the worst offense in the country. It is now down some guys, and it faces a Kentucky defense that's been pretty good, and that is Kentucky's identity under Mark Stoops. It's going to play you very tough on that side of the ball.
Whew, yeah. I mean, if you can find me a path for Iowa to score, a couple touchdowns here offensively, not defensively. That's all I'm asking. And I'm going to say the same about
Let me just
Kentucky.
throw this out. So what if we hit the over just like on defensive touchdowns and stuff?
Well, it's possible.
Like
the defenses are good.
Right.
So we don't want to take anything away from the defenses, but offensively, there's just so many questions. And I think Sam Laporta is supposed to be back. He's Iowa's leading receiver. He's got 53 receptions, 601 yards, and a touchdown this season. But I think, again, you're assuming he's going to be good to go. And if he's not, my goodness, that just adds another element. But it sounds like he'll be back. So that'll help a new starter there at quarterback. But, beyond that, like I said, Kentucky's defense has been really good. And I think you would expect more of the same here with Mark Stoops and just kind of how they like to play things on the defensive side. And I don't think Iowa's going to get a whole lot done through the air anyways. But again, I don't know what they're going to get done in either regard because I just think it's a tough matchup for an offense that has been challenged. And it's not just that, they're going up against a really good defense. And it's the same, we're going to say, for Kentucky in a kind of a different situation. So, like, we can just loop this for the next 3 minutes because it's kind of the same scenario on the other side, I think.
Before we talk about the matchup on the other side, a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Stakes. Predict sports better than the crowd for the chance to win NFTs. With Stakes, can submit their sports predictions against friends, other fans, and influencers forever. Don't let your sports genius go overlooked. Join Stakes and have the best predictions captured in the moment. Go to playwithstakes.com/14. User invite code Southeastern14 for a double welcome bonus. When Kentucky has the ball, the Cats average 22.1 points a game. Iowa gave up 14.4, that being one of the better marks in the country. Kentucky lost 6 fumbles and 11 interceptions. Iowa had 8 fumbles recovered and 13 picks. Sacks. This is where it could get really ugly for Kentucky. The Wildcats allowed 42 sacks. Iowa had 30. Kentucky attempted 33 rushing plays a game and 30 passing plays. On those, the Cats averaged 4.4 per rush. Again, the rushing totals, once you take out sacks, were better for the Cats than just the yards per carry number that you see on the stat sheet because sacks were taken out. But Rodriguez not playing. He was hands down their best back. And Kentucky averaging 6.5 yards a pass play. But again, that's mostly with Levis. Iowa gave up 3.6 per rush play and allowed only 4.6 per pass play. Blake, what do we make of this side of the ball?
The same. Next. Like,
Right.
it's like, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, Levis, you could be frustrated with Levis at times, but he was still Will Levis and threw for almost 2,500 yards. Rodriguez rushed for almost 1,000. And remember, he didn't play, a couple games early in the season.
I think he
Smoke's
missed
not
the first
there.
4.
Yeah. So Smoke's not there. So I think McLean will be next up in that regard. He only had 49 carries, 238 yards.
But
on the
he's
season.
been there a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, still though, I mean, it's like, if you're looking at the numbers, if you're trying to find a path, right. I think that's the issue. Let Barry and Brown return a special teams touchdown on a kickoff, but the problem is Iowa going to be kicking off that much, right? So, I don't know, man. There's again, it's the same thing. You've got question marks at the top offensive positions here on both sides, and I just think for Kentucky, it was an offense that struggled quite a bit, even with these top guys there, and without them, I have no idea what to expect. Even though they've made a coordinator change, and I don't think Stoops has announced he's going to call the plays yet, but I don't know how much it matters. Just given the personnel right now, and just the lack of experience altogether, I think in that regard.
Well, if you're listening to the numbers, this is an era of offensive football, and you're probably wondering, how do these teams both get here with some of those ugly offensive stats? Well, this is part of the story too. Both teams are really disciplined. Iowa gets penalized for only 35 yards a game. That's one of the better marks in the country. Kentucky was only 40 yards a game. FEI ranks special teams. It rated Iowa's 15th overall and Kentucky's 38th. So both teams were pretty good there. Strength of schedule, according to ESPN's FPI, Iowa 13, Kentucky 16, and the ranking for these teams in our Southeastern 14 composite, which you can find at our website, Southeastern 14. It is an average of 4 computer polls. Iowa ranked 29th and Kentucky 31st. Blake, we do this on December 14th, so stuff could change between now and when you see the video. The line on this is Iowa by 2.5 with an over-under of 31.5. That makes for a predicted final of 17-15 in Iowa's favor. If you're wondering, if you take the average of what the teams did, the over-under should have been, if everybody was here, 36.5. Again, that's only 31.5. I even wonder if that under is low enough.
That's never a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Chris. Like, how many times I feel like people are watching this, our subscribers, like they're used to us just, in season, we had a lot of good stuff, and we didn't get our picks right, of course, all the time, but I feel like we could really have a great grasp on a lot of SEC games, and now it's just like it's the Wild West. Like, we don't know what do we say.
How did you predict football in the 1800s? Maybe that's where we should
well, I don't
lean
even.
for
It has
advice.
nothing to do with the score. I think it's just like it's bowl season itself now. And like,
Yeah, but come on. I mean, both teams were pretty ugly offensively
I get
without
it.
even
I
with
get
the
it.
help of their better players.
I get it. This could be 10-7. Like, and that's not, not knocking either team, but that's just how both teams probably want to win here because I think that's probably their best shot in terms of really leaning on their defense and making things hard on the other offense. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a defensive touchdown here. I think we could see one or two of those actually, given the inexperience on the other side, perhaps at quarterback. So I wouldn't put that against, and that could hit the over themselves right there. So um, as for a lean, I don't know. Do you have a strong lean one way or the other here? Because I don't.
No, I
Other
don't. I'll give you. Let's give our guesses because I think we're both kind of stumped on this one. But quickly, if you would like to put some money on this game and you don't like betting $11 to win 10, BROTHROW is the place you need to visit. You can bet on all 50 states with BROTHROW. It's not the house, so bettors have a fair chance at winning. It is the only sports betting platform that doesn't take a cut of every bet. You don't have to make any minimum deposits or minimum bets. You don't have to connect your bank account. Bettors pay each other directly. It is a hassle-free sign-up process that lets you get into the action in seconds. Go to brothrow.com/SE14. Yeah, I'm leaning the under. I don't know. I mean, is this like if they get to overtime and this is like still scoreless? Do they go like to penalty shots in soccer? Do
That's
they have
not
like a
going to
field goal
happen.
shootout?
Let's not exaggerate here.
I'm
Somebody
I'm kind
they're
of
going to
rooting
score
for
some
it.
points. They're going to score. You know what's going to happen? This is going to be 28-27.
Probably.
No, everybody's going to talk about the under and say nobody can score, and they'll both come out and it'll be 14-14 in the first quarter. But I I'm with you. I still think I'd probably take the under here. I know that's hard to think about, but
I'm being completely serious. What do we think about the kicking games in this? Because Kentucky's was shaky at times.
look, this game's going to be in Nashville, and as of right now, Chris, if you look at the weather, and we're looking 17 days out, like there's a chance of snow and all this other stuff. It looks like on the very, very far out forecast. So that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for a snow game between two defenses that are good, and it's like first to three wins it. It's going to be cold. So,
It's all. I've been to that game several times, and you have too. It is almost always cold and damp. It
so
may not be
yeah.
raining, but it's like that got that moisture in the air to where if it's 30 degrees, it's going to feel like it's 20, and that's if there's no wind, which it's
Oh.
on the river, and there probably will be a wind too.
All right, we're an SEC channel. We try not to be biased, but I'm like, do I just pick Kentucky because I don't know what else to do? And, we don't really want to, we want to keep our Kentucky fans around. And I mean, but I don't know. Like I
I got a
think
better. Let's have a basketball game to decide this. I mean, just go
that'd be a
across
good
the
game.
river to the arena, and let's play basketball, and let's decide it that way.
Man, I have no idea. Kentucky's offense, just without those two guys, it's just, I have no idea what to expect from them. And I think that just like I said, I was starting a new guy too. So it's, oh, I, I'm gonna pick Kentucky, but look, if you think we have any confidence in our picks, just watch pretty much every bowl preview we've done. Minus like maybe Georgia and Ohio State. There's just not a lot of confidence in what's gonna happen here other than a very defensive minded game. And I don't know, man. I think there'll be a lot of Kentucky fans, there'll be a lot of Iowa fans there. I'll go with the Cats by a field
Kentucky
goal.
will show up for this. Kentucky has a decent fan base in town. That fan base shows up for stuff. It's a 3-hour drive. That may factor in here. I'll take Kentucky for lack of a better idea.
This is another bottom 5 confidence pool
Yeah.
pick for me. I don't know. So, I hope both of them come out and just are clicking on offense just to piss everybody off. That's what I'm rooting for.
If
I
this
want
is
this
a
to be
shootout, we will have a live stream just to have some fun.
I want this to be 35-28. So all the backup quarterbacks, backup running backs, this is your time. Like just go out and do your thing. Although I think both defenses are so good, it's going to be hard to do it. So
Could you get to 35 with like 16 safeties and a field goal? I guess you could.
Oh God, here we go. All right, lucky Iowa fans, we're just playing.
We're just
around 'cause
having fun.
what do we
Yeah.
say about bowl season with all these games and so many guys not playing? Like it's just we do our best here. So
Well, we will try to do live stream closer to time, where we'll update you if there's anything to be updated on, weather, injuries, stuff like that. The best way to get those, hit that subscribe button. A lot of you discovered our channel this year. We really appreciate that in all seriousness, and we appreciate our sponsor Stakes, which presents our channel, and our partners at BROTHROW. He's Blake Lovell. I'm Chris Lee. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon at Southeastern 14.